Welcome back, everybody. You might not consider yourself a beer person, but have you ever considered mixing a cold brew into your cocktail on a hot day? We are here to show you that the results are tasty and refreshing.
Here to break up our summer sipping routines with Beertails is the founder of the wine tasting and events company, the Wine Sisters, Erin Henderson. Hi, Erin.
Hi, ladies.
Erin, this is so exciting. We're going to experiment with a ton of different beer styles, and we're starting with a frozen beer Paloma. Now, I'm very excited because I like a beer, I like a Paloma, and I like the idea of putting these together. And I understand we start with the ice part, which is the hardest part.
Well, it really is the hardest part because crushed ice is so tough to get. I tried putting it in my high-speed blender. It nearly pulverized it back into water. So put your ice cubes in a bag and really let it rip. Take out those frustrations.
How does it feel, Jess?
Let's see, guys. That was very satisfying. It looks like professional crushed ice from like a restaurant.
Hey, but Erin, there is another method, right, for crushing ice if you don't want to go Hulk smash on the ice.
So it's actually a little bit more of the granita effect. So it's a little bit easier, and all you have to do is take all the ingredients, you put them in a clean loaf pan or a small lasagna pan, and you put it in the freezer. Depending on how cold your freezer is, it could take 90 minutes, it could take 2 hours. And what you do is you check on it when it's nearly frozen, you take a fork and you just sort of run your fork through it to give it that snow cone kind of consistency.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So my ice has been crushed by my muscle and my brawn. So how do we assemble this drink?
Paloma, which is actually the cocktail of Mexico. Everyone thinks it's the margarita, happens to be the Paloma, and it has some sort of variation of grapefruit juice or grapefruit soda, some lime juice, and some tequila. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace that soda with a radler, and we're just going to layer grapefruit upon grapefruit upon grapefruit. So what you want to do is you want to first rim the glass either with a slice of lime or a slice of grapefruit, get it nice and juicy, and then dip it into some pink sea salt. You want to carefully put in all that crushed ice that you were so carefully, or so aggressively smashing. Into that, you pour in 1.5 ounces of a white tequila. You also have a really special simple syrup. This is a grapefruit juice simple syrup, which is basically the melting of sugar and grapefruit juice and lime juice. You pour in 1.5 ounces of that. So now you put in 1 ounce of freshly squeezed ruby red grapefruit juice. Give that a little stir around. And now you want to carefully pour in your radler. If you pour it in too quickly, it'll fizz up all over the place. You don't want to do that. And that, my friend, is a delicious backyard summer cocktail.
This is remarkable. I love it, Erin. It's so refreshing.
The next drink that you're going to make with me, Erin, involves sour beer, which I don't have a lot of experience with, but I hear about it all over the place. It's quite popular. Why do you think it's had this surge in popularity?
Obviously, craft beer is a thing, and it's a good thing, and it's a thing that's here to stay. And I think that people are really having fun experimenting with different flavors and different styles. And for so long, if you remember back in the day, the only craft beer you got was really an IPA from a major commercial brewery. So now we've got all kinds of different craft breweries that are emerging and doing some really cool stuff.
What you're doing with me is mixing a sour beer with Aperol, like in a Spritz.
It's so good, honestly. So regular Aperol spritzes, they've had a moment as well. Everyone knows them to be the famous Aperol, the liqueur out of Italy, as well as you would top it with Prosecco. I have to say, this drink was taught to me by a Toronto bartender. I even like it better than the Prosecco-based Aperol spritzes. So what we're going to use is we're going to replace the Prosecco with a sour beer. Now, you can use just a basic sour beer if you want. I'm actually using one from a Toronto craft brewery called Kensington. And this is actually flavored with Meyer lemon and lemon juice and blackberry. So it gives it a really beautiful reddish color thanks to the Aperol and this beer. So what you're going to do, 2 ounces of Aperol go into your big wine glass that's filled with ice.
Yep.
And then you're going to pour in 1 ounce of sparkling water. Now, if you feel like using a grapefruit sparkling water, or you feel like using a different kind of citrusy sparkling water, whatever, we're just using plain sparkling water. We've got a lot of flavor coming from other elements. Now you're going to top it with this beautiful sour beer.
There's a little bit of foam, but I think that adds some prettiness to it. Look how pretty it is.
Nice.
Where's the pool? Oh, this is so good.
Lainey, do you like
It's
it
so
as much as
delicious.
a normal spritz?
I would say it's better than a regular spritz, and I'll tell you why. I
Okay.
think the hipster people are gonna love that there's a little bit of a kombucha flavor to this. So that is why this is gonna land for sure.
Erin, I feel like you're doing all my favorite drinks, Palomas to spritzes, and now a beer mojito.
Beer
Yes.
mojitos. Now, of course, you're going to normally have things like your spiced rums and your sugars and your limes, but you also normally top a regular mojito with soda. We are now going to use a beer. We're actually going to be using this beautiful, once again, we're craft cocktails from Radler Road here in Toronto. You can use a
Mm.
basic lager if you want, but I found this, and this is cucumber mint, so it just layers on that mint flavor, which is fantastic. Into an empty mixing glass, you need to muddle some lime. To that lime, you're going to add in 2 ounces of either white rum or spiced rum. Now, in our case, we're using spiced rum. This one actually, it's called Dead Man's Fingers, and this one comes from England, which is super cool and different.
Oh my gosh, it smells good.
So you add in 1 ounce of simple syrup. So now you really want to get in there. You want to get all of that beautiful juice out of that lime, really let it rip so all of that juice comes out and everything melds together.
Oh, yes.
Really
This
get in
smells
there.
so good. Yes. I can smell it's releasing too, all the essence of lime. Oh my gosh, I love lime.
Now you're going to add in just a small handful of some of that mint. The reason why we're adding it in now and not before is we just want to gently bruise it to release the oils, not to get all of the mint leaves all flaked off, because then it just gets stuck in your teeth, and that is not sexy.
Gorge, gorge. Okay.
Okay,
love
gorge.
it.
All right, so now you're going to top up your mixing glass with ice, and you're going to give it a really good stir for 10 or 15 seconds. You want to do this just to chill down your glass. And again, the reason why we're stirring and not shaking is we don't want to break apart those mint leaves.
Gotcha. Right, right, right.
Strain that into a fresh glass that's filled with fresh ice, and you will then top it with our cucumber mint kolsch.
Oh, yes. Here we go.
How you doing, Jess?
I'm doing great.
Bust a move out there, Jess.
Hi-ya!
Well, Jess continues lighting up the dance floor. Erin, it's my turn next, and the next drink you and I are going to make together, it's a stout espresso martini. But I do know that a lot of people are hit or miss on stout, like it's quite polarizing.
The reason why I think stouts can be polarizing, yeah, they're a bit bitter. That's why they're intended to be. They don't necessarily have the effervescence of a lighter style beer. But you know what? We have been doing the lighter style beers for the other cocktails, and I wanted to give some gravitas to this cocktail. And I think it's actually quite sexy and quite compelling. And I think it's beautiful. And I think this will take the haters to the lovers.
Sexy and compelling are two adjectives that describe me, so let's go.
Yeah.
It's true.
Okay, so what you're going to do is you are going to, in your cocktail shaker that's filled with ice, you are going to put in 1.5 ounces of cold brew. Now, this can be, you know, you buy it at the grocery store, you can let a cup of coffee go cold, you can make yourself an espresso and let it go cold, but you've got 1.5 ounces of cold brew. And you're going to put in 1.5 ounces of your coffee flavored liqueur. Now, look how cute this little bottle is that I sent you. It is, I
Let me
know,
see.
and I
Cute.
love this. The reason why I love it is because it's already pre-portioned. And I find I love coffee flavored liqueurs, but I don't necessarily go through them that quickly. And so after they've been
It's
open for a month or two or
true.
whatever, it goes stale,
Yep.
right? So I have probably an obscene amount of these. And then you just, A, you don't have to measure, and B, it keeps it fresh. So I love it.
That's a good tip.
So give that now a really nice shake, and then you'll strain
Oh,
it
okay.
into your chilled coupe.
I love this reveal. I love watching how it comes out. It's so mesmerizing.
Now what you're going to
It,
do is we have a stout that we're going to be using, and this one is from Wellington Brewery. It's from my hometown of Guelph, Ontario, so got to give the local
Nice.
love. What I love about this, you pour it carefully straight into it, and the foam from the beer makes it look like a cappuccino, kind of. It looks so pretty.
yeah, just
That looks so
foam.
cool.
And you should have some coffee beans.
Oh my God, they float. They float. How come they float? I didn't
Because
know
the
they
beer
would
is so
float,
dense.
Jess. Science.
Science is amazing. So are you.
If anything can make me drink, it's science class. It's good, right?
It takes a minute. I'm not gonna lie. It takes a minute because you're expecting pure coffee, right? Like the
Right.
color and
Hmm.
everything, you're expecting pure coffee. So it takes a minute, but then think people say like the aftertaste is no bueno. The aftertaste with this is like all bueno. So good.
Erin, these four cocktails, I kid you not, wonderful ideas. They reintroduced us to beers, got us super excited. So thank you. And to find all of Erin's recipes, make sure you head to our social media pages after the show and stick around because we'll be right back.